Robbie White had some loan time at Pompey. One of the more, shall we say, senior younger players, if that doesn't sound daft. Jose gave him a game as well in that FA Cup tie against Marine. He started it, actually. Yeah. So he must be good, because Jose wasn't the greatest at giving starts to youngsters. He loved bringing them on in the 88th minute to tell you how well he was bringing the youth through, but starting them was perhaps another story.
Absolutely. However, you would also think that, what are we talking about, the 16th of August today, that some of these boys, maybe like George McEachran and, as you said, White, from a Spurs perspective, we've still got time to go out on loan. You know, you've got 3 weeks for the end of the season, 2.5 transfer window, and I'm sure they might get a move. Here's like Marcel Lavinier, who was once a Chelsea Blue.
Yep, released for last season. Did play against Chelsea last term as well, Marcel Lavinier. Yes, you would think George McEachran here. Questionable how much benefit having another season of PL2 for him would be, but his last loan didn't work out. He was in Holland with Maastricht. Didn't really get a look in there.
But he's so technically good, you can see why he's attractive to them foreign teams. But you know, as I said, I think at this stage you're right, Ben. He needs to get out and get first team adult football. He's beyond this now.
Lavinier under pressure from none, and it was good pressure that worked. Harvey Bale squares it, nicely done. Charlie Webster just trying to break through, and he very nearly did.
Yeah, and the ball just ran away from his first, just took it away from the defender, but he got back there, and I think it was Fagan Walcott who got back and just nipped the ball off as he's looking to strike it.
He's still up here, Charlie Webster, popping up on the right side, but classy central midfielder usually could pass the ball, takes a lot of set pieces very nicely there, just didn't break.
Yeah, and it was Fagan Walcott just done enough, just got his body across him, and the touch eluded him, and just got away from him there.
It was Ryan Sessegnon pulling away there. I think a couple of years ago, maybe it was more than that now, time is flying.
Yeah.
Ryan Sessegnon was, you know, the next best thing, wasn't he?
He was the hottest property in, what, certainly Fulham's recent life, and obviously they sold him for a nice few quid, but he hasn't really reached the heights we expected at that stage. Thought he was going to go on and be an England international, but sort of just held back a little bit now.
He's another who probably doesn't need a season of PL2 football.
No, absolutely not.
Interesting to get a good look at Xavier Mbouan, but he may have some defending to do here. It's very skillful from Markande. And it stayed in, and it's a top stop from Bergstrom, because that came quickly out of the sunshine. He's done well to tip that over, giant that he is.
Yeah, Mbouan gets caught. It gets caught very square on. A good run from Markande there, and gets to the byline, pulls it back, and it's a lovely little head actually behind Alfie Devine, and he bends back, as you can see, it just dinks it towards the goal. It's a good reaction save from Bergstrom.
First corner of the game, and it's Tottenham's. Harvey White to deliver. Away is the shout. It didn't go away. It fizzed in past Bergstrom's goal. But danger over for now.
Yeah, it was. It was actually George Nunn who made the challenge in about the 6-yard box there, and the ball fell nicely to the striker. You can see he challenges here, and he jumps, and he sort of gets back to, I'm not sure who that is. That looks like Devine again. And Devine has a strike there. He's normally technically very good, but can't steer it onto the target.
He scored in that Marine FA Cup tie. Did Alfie Devine. Which, if I remember rightly, was the biggest gap. Was it that there had ever been in the FA Cup in terms of, you know, rungs on the ladder from non-league to Prem? Dangerous cross. Mundell trying to cut it back, and in the way very nicely. In good time was Bashir Humphreys. Good job he was there, really.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was a good strike from Mundell there, and he just goes over the head of the centre half, and if he gives it up here, it's a clean strike on goal. But he follows it gets his body in the way, good defending.
Dangerous ball that from Sessegnon. Lucas Bergstrom will be happy for that sun to disappear soon. Half the seats behind him are bright, half are not. Oh, it's awkward, it could go anywhere. Get rid, that'll do.
Yeah, there's been a couple of balls hit into the box, and we've not been dominant as a back three. They've got to the first ball, Spurs, and on that occasion got lucky with a ricochet and cleared it eventually. But we have to be bigger and stronger in the box there with the balls coming in.
There's Ben Elliott. Good-looking central midfielder, Ben Elliott.
It's a foul.
Nothing given. You can hear Andy Myers from here saying ref, but not interested.
No, I think the young centre-back, Fagan Walcott, was very aggressive there, and I thought Fierbeamer definitely went over and looked a free kick to me.
So with Lewis Bate gone, and I think perfectly possible that George McEachran will be out on loan somewhere soon. There's every chance that Ben Elliott will be a regular starter in the middle of the park for Andy Myers and John Harley. We will miss those galloping runs of Tino Livramento. We'll be looking to get on the end of a ball like that Bashir Humphries has just delivered. Keep an eye on his progress with Southampton. A year on from Tariq Lamptey, similar position, not necessarily the same sort of player, but certainly a marauding right wing back.
Yep.
Going to Brighton.
Yeah, very impressed with him last year. As I said, extremely disappointing to see him not here, and that link up with Bate was crucial, and it was superb to watch. But onwards and upwards.
Just trying to play their way out of trouble there, the Blues. It looked tidy for a minute, then it got a bit scrappier, but it's been dealt with.
That's great forward play. Well done, Brian Fierbeamer. That's great. Backs into the defender there and gets a free kick. And Chelsea need to get out. They just, as you say, at the back, a little bit hesitant with a couple of challenges. And on that occasion, great forward play gets them out.
No Jude Soonsup-Bell tonight. And Jayden Wareham is on the bench. Came in on trial from Woking in the spring as a youth team forward and looked really good. Just as Jude Soonsup-Bell himself was kind of making that transition up from prolific under-18 forward to himself being involved in the PL2 setup. He got a nasty injury in a game against Everton that we thought would have ended his season. Somehow it didn't. Those young bones must be made of rubber, clearly. It was horrible. When you saw it happen, you thought, that's him done for a long time. And he was back much sooner than we thought, but not around tonight, Jude. But Jayden Wareham is on the bench. We made a really good impact up front for the 18s. Now signed from Woking rather than just on trial. Fierbeamer getting the shirt tonight. Had a really good start to last season and then went very cold.
Yeah.
Missed a fair few good chances over a prolonged period before he finally got himself back on the score sheet in the springtime.
Yeah, they just didn't get a lot of luck in and around the 6-yard box. Then he lacked a little bit of confidence. I remember one game at, I think it was Arsenal away, where he had a chance and blasted it when he just needed to place it. And from then on in, he just lacked that confidence. But he started quite brightly today, so he's held onto the ball well a couple of times.
Ben Elliott's done nicely there. Charlie Webster, as Dion Rankin gets out of his way. Dion Rankin will be playing right wing back. That'll be a Chelsea free kick. That Arsenal game you just talked about there, that was absolutely symbolic of the Chelsea issue just in that spell of the season, which is where the title defence just fell away. Yeah. One up, actually, when Brian Fierbeamer missed that, and Arsenal went on to nick it. And there were a load of games like that where Chelsea were playing well and often in front, but didn't win them.
I think United, well, yeah, we can go on a lot.
Derby, there was a Liverpool match
at home.
Was
I mean,
ridiculous.
It was like 80% possession and chances, and the worst player on the pitch, the striker, went and got the winning goal, and we were giving him stick all game, and ended up getting the 3 points for Liverpool. But just shows you, whether it be first team or any level, you've got to finish teams off when you get the opportunities.
real season of 3/3 rather than 2 halves, as the cliche goes. First and third thirds were excellent in the middle, playing well, but not seeing out games and results. In a much changing side. Second, nothing to scoff at. Clip forward here, seeing that Janelle Bennett option, one that Spurs are looking for a lot down that left wing. Sessegnon with Janelle Bennett in front of him.
Yeah, but that's Kanté as well, making the run in behind. He's getting behind Muyamba there a couple of times. Sam McLennan has to come across from that central possession and snuffed out the danger there. But Muyamba's been done a couple of times on that left-hand side for Spurs, and I think he's got to be a little bit more aware of the runs in behind him.
Had to wait a long time to see him, and he got a run of games once he was fit at the end of the season. Xavier Muyamba, who came from Barcelona and was out for 9 months injured instantly. And if I remember correctly, he scored with literally his first touch of a ball in an official Chelsea match. Came on against Manchester United, scored from the corner straight away. Great start. Played the end of the season, and I expect he'll be regular unless he's one of the loan plans. We shall see.
Well, I enjoyed his performances at the end of the year. I've made a comment. He looked like a Rolls Royce at one stage. He looked really, really good, and but he's been a little bit lapsed today. He's
in the middle. He might have to make a block here. Tottenham getting a bit of joy in that left channel, aren't they? It's Bennett.
Well, that was him at his best there, because forget Rolls Royce, he was a bully there, and we had to get out, and unfortunately Fierbeemer's not got hold of the ball, and here comes Spurs again. But just showed his strength there, shrugged the challenge off.
Dinked forward by Harvey White. It's Janelle Bennett again, and Muyamba has gone out there. Not diving in. Lavinia was the target. Bashir Humphreys read that calmly enough. Gets it back from Fierbeemer, good. As was the tackle from Harvey White, sadly. Strong one coming back in from Ben Elliott. Mundell then dispossessed, or well, fouled apparently, or was there, no, the ref I think has pulled it back for the earlier one, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think there's a bit of an injury. It looks... It's Bashir made the run forward and tried to play a little 1-2 with Fierbeemer, but getting the Keckren challenge there, but that was fair. It was just, I think he pulled it back because Bashir Humphreys was obviously on the halfway line, and he's okay now. He looked a bit sore, that was all.
Got 11 minutes on debut against Blackburn at the end of last term, Bashir Humphreys. He's played a bit of Youth Cup though, season before, and even a little bit of UEFA Youth League, which lots of these players and others missed out on, of course, last term. A real sadness that. We know how much we've all enjoyed, and the players in particular, the UEFA Youth League campaigns. Very often very successful, but last term they had to give it the biff because of COVID, and then they had planned to have a slightly reformatted thing in the new year where they're basically a last 64 and a knockout, because they couldn't do what they usually do, which is mirror the Champions League group stages, and it does get a bit more complicated than that, but they were basically going to go for a last 64 in the spring and do it that way, and even that had to get kiboshed late in the day, sadly. No flag here, and the ricochet is Harvey Val, who's surely taken out. It's a penalty.
Well, I wasn't sure the first challenge wasn't either. It looked as though there was a rash challenge in the middle of all that, and the ball eventually fell to Harvey Val, who's in the 6-yard box. I think it's Fierbeemer here.
It's Dion Rankin.
It's Dion getting forward, yeah, and then all of a sudden the ball breaks into that area. Harvey Val, nice and bright, gets in there. Definite
100%.
penalty. Absolutely no chance that's not a penalty. The goalkeeper can complain all he likes, but didn't make contact with the ball. Definitely made contact with Harvey Val, and a great chance for Chelsea to open their account.
No VAR in PL2, thankfully, anyway. Good decision, referee. I don't know what they could possibly... Well, footballers always do, don't they? I mean, that is as nailed on as they come.
Well, yeah, exactly. That is as blatant is. But as you said, they still want to have a moan up and influence the referee maybe for a decision later on.
Having won it, Harvey's going to take it. Can the keeper make amends for his rash challenge? Tottenham have had more of the pressure in these opening 19 minutes, but this is a beautiful chance.
Ooh, great pen.
And it's in! Harvey Vale with a blast, and Chelsea are in front on opening night in the PL2.
Well, I have to say, slightly against the run of play. I think Spurs have been the more dominant force. Couple of chances in our box. Bergstrom makes one really good save, but that was an obvious penalty. Great penalty from Harvey Vale, and as I said, what, 20 minutes in, we find ourselves 1-0 up.
Big smiles again, picking up where he left off last term.
Do you know the irony is, I was actually going to say I'd like to see him on the ball more, because he actually hadn't had an influence in the first 20 minutes, and we saw, as I said last year, how influential he could be. So he was having a very quiet time, but it doesn't matter now. He stuck the ball in the back of the net.
Sort of playing in a kind of 10-ish role, isn't he?
Yeah.
I suppose it's as if he and Charlie Webster are maybe Mount and Werner, with Lukaku being Brian Fearbaimer, if you like. He's playing a 10-ish role when he was playing more at left side, sometimes actually out-and-out left wing-back, wasn't he, last term? Well, more wider, he's more central, so we'll see.
Totally agree, and I think Charlie Webster and Harvey are both playing very narrow, with Fearbaimer being that sort of focal point and trying to hold the ball up, and obviously a whip's coming from George Nunn on this side and Dion Rankin on the other. But as I said, he hasn't had the influence you'd like, but he's got the opening goal.
He's in the middle now. Webster dispossessed, had been trying to get that ball in there, so we'll see perhaps a more, maybe it's just tonight, maybe it's not, but we might see a more central Harvey Vale this season. He was dangerous down the left, strong, good pace, delivered a good ball in as well. There's Andy Myers, doing this job for a couple of years now, having led the 18s before. John Harley coming with him, two Chelsea Academy products themselves. Here's Lavinier. Tottenham 0, Chelsea 1. What a lovely score.
Old habits die hard. Great challenge on that left wing there. Got a chance, Spurs, to break here.
It's towards Mundell, and Lavinier comes and takes over. It's a chance for him to go in field. That's a lovely way to pass that. Bashir Humphrey's got a piece of it, and it's wallop clear.
Yeah, I'm not sure who that was again. I think it was maybe Craig who got forward there, and the ball got caught underneath his feet, which is fortunate for Chelsea. The ball was just about a foot behind him and couldn't adjust his feet quickly enough.
Elliott keeps it moving. Pace to it now, Dion Rankin.
Oh. He's done well, Sessegnon. I thought Dion got the other side of him there, but no, he's just shrugged him off with a shoulder barge there. But good, strong play from Sessegnon, using his experience.
Yeah, that was a more senior pro on a youngster all over, wasn't it? Oh, Kanté dropping deep here, Tottenham centre forward.
That's a better challenge from Miyamba. Got there, timed his challenge well, stood up, and done really, really well there.
So did Charlie Webster, just flicked it past Harvey White, who couldn't help himself and bring him down. Take two for Dion Rankin. Actually scored the 1-0 winner, Dion Rankin, at the end of the season for the youth team against Spurs. Didn't play that much youth team football, even though he could. It's often the way that you'll get 16 and 17 playing youth team and 18 playing in the PL2, like Dion Rankin and Lewis Bate, people who could have played for Ed Brand on a Saturday morning but tended not to. Maybe when the cups came along and things like that.
Yeah, yeah. And that's what makes Andy Myers' job even better than him and John have done. Just wait here, Marston's got a chance. Oh, his purse touch is poor.
Still got round George Nunn though, Lavinier. Shooting chance for Mundell. Deflection could have gone anywhere, but Chelsea had enough bodies in there. It's not another poor clearance from Nunn.
It's a comedy of errors on this left-hand side. We've got to defend this at the far post. That's a foul.
There's a push in there. Janelle Bennett coming in and bundling into Gianfranco. He still put it wide, so danger over for now. But this was a bit of a scare.
Yeah, it was. I mean, George Nunn laps a little bit on that left-hand side, and that's a scuff. But he tries to clear this here, and it's straight to the Spurs midfield player again, and gets the ball to the far post. And Gianfranco does very well because he's not the tallest, but he just does enough to put Bennett off. It's a push in the back and definite free kick.
Good to see the wing-backs tucking in. There is clue in that title. You are back as well as wing. No one has told Marcos Alonso this. Keeps popping up at centre forward.
Well, that's maybe why they're trying George Nunn there, because you know naturally he's a centre forward. He's a striker who came from Crewe as a striker, but they're playing him on that left-hand side. Hopefully he get forward, but at the moment he's being pushed back, and defensively he's been a little bit lapsed. But we've got away with it.
Harvey White with another Spurs free kick here. It's deep, and it's decent as well. For a minute, Captain Lyons Foster looked favourite there and actually dropped behind him to his teammate again. Danger dealt with, and even though they've had more of the ball and looked more dangerous, still only one Lucas Bergstrom save, that push over the bar,
yep.
And a couple of important blocks though.
Yeah,
decent defending to be fair so far.
I think so, yeah. We've been, as I said, a couple of balls over the top have done us, which is very we're obviously playing with a back three, and you wouldn't normally assume it would do that, but Spurs are quite happy to try and get the ball in behind the centre-backs, and they've done it quite successfully. A couple of scrambles which we've got away, as you say, but it's only that one real save for Bergstrom.
Lavinia has Matt Craig behind him. It's a little easy. Job done by Shea Humphreys, though. Marcande managed to not sort his feet out, and the throw is Chelsea's.
Well, he didn't, but I've got to say his movement's been very good in this opening sort of 22, 23 minutes. I mean, he's got in behind on numerous occasions, mostly on the Spurs left, but on that occasion it's on their right, and unfortunately lost his footing and couldn't get it back, and the ball went off. But his movement's been real good, and it's been a problem for us.
Going to move quick enough to get on the end of that, thankfully.
I think also, Ben, looking at the boys up front, they're not getting close enough to the centre-backs who are having a lot of freedom to dink them balls in behind. You know, I think you've got to get in people's faces a little bit further up the pitch. Here's a problem.
George McEachran caught in possession. Sam McClellan with an excellent block to deny Alfie Devine.
Fantastic defending there from McClellan. I mean, again, we've created our own problem there. George McEachran trying to be a little bit too tricky on the edge of his own box. He gets in there, Devine, and that's great defending from Sam. He just stands up long enough, eventually gets his foot to it. And again, it's a dangerous set piece.
Not a bad corner that, but Chelsea have, I'm going to say dealt with it, but the ricochet off Bemer has kept Tottenham in the attack. First time in it comes from Harvey White. Oh. And again, that was a good ball, but Alfie Devine didn't make much of it. He has kept it in. And two of those deliveries were pretty promising, actually.
Yeah, I mean, Devine's, I think he just let himself down because of his concentration. That's a great little ball from him there, dinked in. Again,
Harvey White sliding it through for Marcande, and just too much on it.
I think Marcande was looking up there hoping for contact from Bergstrom. You see Bergstrom come out, and Bergstrom did really well there because you half sold him a bit of a dummy. Like, I'm going to go down and make contact, and he didn't. So, well done, the goalkeeper. But this little man's been lively up front. He created a few problems with his movement, as I said earlier. Got to be stronger there. Must be stronger, George Nunn.
Too easy for Lavinia, who's carried on running. Here's Devine. Now Bennett. Sessegnon coming on the overlap. Oh. Bennett curls one.
Good save.
Lucas Bergstrom's made another stop now, and it's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, we're 1-0 up, but Spurs have been by far the better side, and it's the run from Sessegnon which gives him the chance to come in on his right foot. Bends a great little ball into the far post there. Bergstrom, real good reactions, gets good strong hands to it, and it gets away for another set piece, but Spurs putting us under real pressure now.
Another corner. Last man back is Lavinia. White looks technically good, doesn't he, White, to be fair. It's Bennett again, trying the same trick, less power that time, didn't reach the keeper. Elliott gets it back, and that's a better clearance from George Nunn.
Well, slightly industrial, but I think we needed to get out of our danger area, and we did that, and let's hope we can squeeze up now and put pressure on the ball. But as I said, Spurs are ruling the roost at the moment without getting that equalising goal just yet.
Kanté making that run again, followed by McClelland. Really good back end of the season, Sam McClelland, and with Dinel Simiu, he was in ahead of Dinel Simiu on merit by the end there, and him and Levi Colwill, one or two others depending on shape and time, but Jack Wakely is no longer with Chelsea. And as we said, Simiu to Southampton, and Levi Colwill getting his first loan experience. He had a brilliant year, I thought, really classy looking centre-back, Levi Colwill. I think he's got to Huddersfield, if I remember rightly. And so Sam McClelland would expect to be the rock at the back for this season.
Well, Levi Colwill will get plenty of action. They conceded 5 the weekend, Huddersfield, against Fulham, so I'm sure he's going to get plenty of action down there at the moment, because they need to sew that defence right up. But going back to Sam McClelland, you're absolutely spot on. He was excellent at the end of the season. I really enjoyed his performances, and some of the last-ditch challenges were superb, as we've seen already in this opening half an hour, because he made one there. It was a real good saving tackle when Alfie Devine had that shot. So yeah, he started very brightly again.
There's a real element of more old-school centre-half about him, whereas someone like Levi Colwill is very much your Andreas Christensen kind of centre-half, cruising around the place looking cool. Very good with it, mind. Very good with it. Sam McClelland has got Yamba next to him probably for this season, and it's he who has been penalised for that challenge.
Well, it was a foul, but no more than that. I mean, he's actually tackled here with his wrong foot. He's tackled with his right foot as he's cut in here, and as you can see, he's stretching there, and he definitely catches the forward. Not a problem with that, but I don't see that being a yellow card.
But it was a caution for Xavier Mbuyamba, and he's had a slightly tricky game so far, so he's now going to have to really behave himself. With Janelle Bennett and the overlapping runs of Sessegnon there.
And the movement of Mark Kanté, who's again creating problems for him. So yeah, he's going to have to be on his best behaviour now.
Well, they've had more of the ball, they've had all the set plays.
Oh,
And George Nunn has controlled that magnificently. I don't care if he didn't mean it, but back they come again. Bennett, you feel like it's coming from that left channel, don't you?
well, we're playing the ball out. This time it's Harvey Vowell who's guilty of trying a ball which wasn't really on, and he had very few options in his defence, but he's tried a ball across the middle of the park there. Gets intercepted again, they get a striker goal, but again the defenders get a block in, and it goes for another corner. But as you say, it seems like just a matter of time before Spurs get that equaliser.
Harvey White, Bergstrom flying to his right and through a crowd of players. That's another decent stop from the big lad.
Yeah, it's Fagan Walcott. He gets in there, and again, it's again not great defending, because the ball, I think he actually has a diving header in. He's almost on the 6-yard box. So we've got to get bodies in the way. You can see he dives at it there, and Bergstrom, nice and alert, probably going in at the near post, has to save it.
Webster can help Chelsea get out here, but Craig has won it back. Well done, Webster, for getting a bit better on it. Here's Harvey Vowell, who's still at the moment the only scorer in this game.
Yeah, I'm not sure how, but you're right, and we're sort of maintaining that one goal lead. Cool, Lucas under pressure there again.
Lavinia coming in strong. Well, perhaps a little better than we might have expected tonight, Tottenham. Same could be said of the first team, I suppose, on Sunday. No one saw that one coming.
That was a major shock, Kane-less.
Difficult to know what to think of that, really. Part of you's annoyed when Tottenham get any kind of result, but also, you know, anytime Man City don't take points, it depends how ambitious we're thinking, I suppose, Tommy, at first team level.
Well, absolutely that. You know, obviously they're going to be a major challenger for the title again this year, to maintain their title, and as you say, it was a bit of a shock Spurs beat them, but it was a bit of a shock Brentford beat Arsenal, but some may say not so much.
you'll get varying fortunes with the boys on loan. So far, Levi Colwill has started both of Huddersfield's championship games. They've got a point. They did get a bit of a tanking at the weekend, as Tommy said. Levi got booked in that, I believe. But it'll be great for him. Looks like a very good prospect as a ball-playing centre-half, Levi Colwill. It's a lunge in. The referee's going to play advantage. He may revisit that, though.
Yeah, and that's Muyamba again, I think, isn't it? Made the challenge. It's very odd. I'm sure it was. He's left the ground. Hope it wasn't him. We've got that wrong. Oh, no.
It's Ben Elliott.
Ben Elliott.
On his full debut at this level. Babyface Ben Elliott in that engine room. Going to need some challenges, and he joins Mbuyamba on the naughty list.
Yeah, he does, yeah. He cuts in again. He's cutting in Bennett, and yeah, it was a rash challenge. And I didn't think Muyamba's free kick earlier was a yellow card, but that definitely was. Listen, Dennis Wise had a baby face, but you wouldn't want to go near him on a football pitch, that's for sure.
Harvey White is getting plenty of practice at these, and he's looked quality, annoyingly, in the middle of the park for Spurs here.
He's done well, and his set pieces have been decent.
Hines Foster in the middle, Fagan Walcott lurking back post, and it's towards the latter.
That
great ball in.
That is as good a ball as you'll see in any standard of football. That is magnificent, and you can't hardly defend that, because you get a touch to it, you're heading towards your own goal. Look at all our defenders pull out of it, because I know if they hit it, it's going to go in the back of the net. And to be fair, again, it's Fagan Walcott. He will really rue that chance, because that's just a simple tapping. Get a firm foot to it, hit it back towards where it's come from, and it should end up in the back of the net. It's a poor contact.
Chelsea centre-backs fearing it for the own goal, and attacking centre-backs, because they can't finish, stick it the wrong side of the post, thankfully. But what a delivery that was from White. Need to stop giving him the chance to do it, because he's put in 3 or 4 really good ones already.
Mind you made a great point. He's had plenty of practice, hasn't he? Even if he didn't get any in training yesterday, he certainly has some today, that's for sure. But no, excellent quality.
Just a few minutes till half-time, and Chelsea still leading if you've come in late. Harvey Vale won and scored a penalty. Tottenham have certainly bossed the match. There'd be no point in suggesting otherwise, but 1-0 Blues. Mundle there, a little bit handsy with the referee. Bergstrom here.
Oh, great
turned
ball.
into a great pass.
That was one of mine, 3 off the tee there, but ended up as a good result. Well done, Jules. Great ball.
Lovely weight. Here's Ben Elliott. Harvey Vale would appear to be the obvious pass, and he's played it. Here is Vale. Oh, Charlie Webster, who's got such good touch. And he missed his moment there.
Well, we've got a problem here. Great back heel.
The counter to the counter.
And what a deflection that was. I think it was Ben Elliott again, just got his body in the way and got deflected. Spurs were like 3v2 here as offside against Fiabima, but oh, what a sequence of play that was, and not had any touch. And the ball here from Ben Elliott's really well. I thought Harvey might just have strayed offside, but he digs it back to the far post. Charlie Webster, 9 times out of 10 will get it under control and smash it in the back of the net. Just again lacks that concentration, and the chance is gone.
Because he certainly doesn't normally lack the touch. He's got a lovely touch, Charlie Webster.
And he's a good finisher, which is the other thing as well.
Tottenham come again. It's a lively old 38 minutes, this.
I was going to say, what a great 38 minutes this has been opening the season. You won't get much better than this, I wouldn't imagine. And Chelsea hanging on by the skin of their teeth, yet should really maybe be 2-0 up.
Fiabima's touch, Craig putting it out of play, and everyone breathe. I think there was a thought in Harvey Vale's mind. I know it was a tightish angle, but, you know, on his left boot, that he might smash it.
Yeah, well,
it's not like it was on his wrong foot.
No, he's on his right foot, absolutely that. And, you know, we haven't tested the goalkeeper, apart from that one mistake he made from the penalty. We haven't seen if he can save it or not. So, yeah, give him a test. But decided to pull it back, which should have been the right decision, that had the control been better. Oh, don't do that.
Bashir Humphreys backing himself. As most modern defenders will.
Yeah, I mean, they're very prepared to take risks, and it's great when it comes off, but if you get caught in them possessions, and we see George McEachran earlier getting caught on the edge of the box, and Sam McLennan have to make a challenge, you can put yourself under severe pressure.
New balls, please. Must have come in and gone out again. Bennett with the step overs. White away from Mbuyamba. Lance Foster switching it back whence it came. Well, Dion Rankin, another trusting his touch, and good job he got that second block in. Well done.
Well, he got 3 ricochets there that favoured us there, and he was very brave in making them challenges. But again, Spurs trying to throw the ball over to Bennett on that left-hand side, who's coming in on his right foot and really doing well. Be strong.
Webster. There's that touch.
That's better.
Beautifully done. That free kick.
And again, it just takes the pressure off the back four. Held onto the ball really well there. Wriggles his way out of 2 or 3 challenges. The last one's a definite free kick. And all of a sudden, we get the ball on the half line. As you said earlier, we can breathe a little bit and see out this last 4 minutes of the first half.
That is the kind of close control you'd associate with Charlie Webster, which makes the lack of it when that cross came to him all the more surprising, because one of the players on this pitch you'd want the ball like that to fall to just kill it and shoot.
What a ball that is.
Look at Dion Rankin go here.
I mean, that's Sessegnon he's up against there as well, and I mean, he's quick in his own right. What a ball from George McEachran this was. Just bent it in behind the defender there, and the awareness of Rankin to get onto it. Unfortunately, his first touch let him down, and Spurs get a goal kick.
You'll see that in most games he plays, George McEachran, that lovely old cliche about opening a tin of beans with his left foot. And he would be one of those who you'd think might have a chance of doing so. But Harvey White's got some space here, and options, including Mundle. Lavinia's bombing on as well.
Oh,
just overplayed it for Janelle Bennett, or rather maybe he misread it. Either way, he's kept it in, but it could have been worse. Let's see.
Jump.
Lavinia jumps, and jumping with him was George Nunn. Job done.
Done really well there, George Nunn. He has to put Lavinia off there. He's made a great marauding run forward again on this right-hand side, Lavinia, but this time George Nunn does really well, tracks the run. There's a good ball in again from Bennett on that left-hand side, comes in on his right foot, but well defended at the far stick.
.42 minutes of clean sheet.
Got a chance again here, Ben.
So
go on, Harvey, one-on-one.
Harvey Vale. Wonder if he'll go himself this time. I bet he does. He does, and he scored again. Double sucker punch. Chelsea 2 up at Tottenham, having been bossed. They're bossing the scoreline, and Harvey Vale's got both of them.
Oh, I mean, it falls nicely, and to be fair to Lyons Foster, he can't get back, and I'd always fancy Harvey Vale here. You know he's going to come in on his left foot, and he just sort of just dribbles it into the far post. It's not a great contact, but it doesn't need to be, because if it's any better, he probably hits the goalkeeper with it. Just screws it into that far post. Great finish. How we're 2-0 up, I don't know, but we'll take it.
Yes, please. It wasn't that far off the same angle he crossed from a moment ago. That's why we were wondering why he didn't shoot. He's on a hat-trick already. I think it's safe to say he quite likes this inside forward position.
I think if it gives him opportunities like that, Ben, to go and use his pace and sell a dummy to the defender, I mean, he can do no more. And as I said, his finish was really good, because he didn't try to smash it. He just placed it into the corner, and it was a real good finish under pressure.
Still a boy, just. Harvey Vale doesn't look like it. He's got the stature of a strong young man. He will be officially a man in a month or so. Turns 18. Here's Harvey White. Ooh. Another niggle on him.
Yeah. He's looked decent. I like him. He's left-footed, but also looks a little bit attractive as well. But his set piece has been great. His general play has been very good.
Yeah, smart midfielder. Good touch. really been dispossessed or given the ball away, as Janil Bennett has there. Vale puts the brakes on and finds Charlie Webster. Now look at Ben Elliott making the run here. Can Vale find him?
Oh, got a chance.
There's 2 over, including Nunn. And there's plenty forward as George Nunn hangs one up there. 3-0. He would have been called the cops. There's been a robbery.
He's done really well, this little man.
Markande away from Bashir Humphries. Steady. Like he wasn't there. McEachran and McClelland were both looking like they were going to just try and foul him without letting it run too far, just outside the box.
McClelland's actually done very well here because, again, he times his challenge to make sure that he doesn't drift into the box. I mean, you can see he hesitates a bit there, but he makes the challenge outside. It's definitely a free kick all day long. As I said, Markande's been very, very lively up front, but if there is such a thing as a good challenge and you give a free kick away, that's probably it, because another yard, it's a penalty.
White amongst the contenders here will surely take it right at the end of the first half. It's been a highly entertaining first half. It may yet end with a 3rd goal. Card was out there, incidentally. We'll just get a check on that momentarily. Meanwhile, of more importance is this. Almost too close, UX pros always tell me with these, which always makes me think they should just be smashed hard and low and see what happens.
I would actually agree with that, but however, the quality White shown on the ball so far, you'd actually assume he might have the talent and the quality to get the ball over. But that is one hell of a wall, by the way. We've got about 3 6'3" guys in the middle there, and let's hope they can do their job.
Bergstrom favouring his right-hand post, left his wee look. Harvey White to bring Tottenham back into the game. And it's saved, but the rebound is in.
Let's give offside.
Foster, offside. Great decision, officials. No VAR required or indeed present.
We love that man. But I have to say, the strike was superb and great goalkeeping, because as you said, it was going to be difficult for him to get the ball up and down, but you can see his position there.
He did break early.
He did, yeah, and you can see Lyons Foster's there, and he's way in front of the defenders, and it's a good decision from the assistant. But again, great quality of the strike and a real good save from Bergstrom.
He's had a good half, actually. He's made 3 or 4 good stops. It's nice to see, because he had some pretty awful wobbly moments at the back end of last term for both PL2 and youth team.
Well, wasn't he on the bench in Ireland last week? I think I saw him on the bench in one of the games pre-season for the first team. So, you know, which is obviously means he's training and he's doing things, and he looks like he's brought that confidence to the pitch today.
It's good to see. He's nearly got himself a first-half clean sheet here, despite a lot of pressure. He's got down well on a couple of occasions. Chelsea have had to stand pretty firm at the back amidst a fair few Tottenham attacks. But it is a very nice-looking scoreline. Both goals coming courtesy of Harvey Vale. The first from the spot and the second on the counter. And the Blues are halfway to a lovely opening weekend win in the PL2. They've had to battle hard. But the half-time scoreline is Tottenham 0, Chelsea 2. Thank you very much. Let's have a little look at some of the main moments then, and there have been plenty of them. Lively half, full of much attacking. Most, but certainly not all, from Tottenham. That was a ball into Charlie Webster that had a bit of promise about it.
Yeah, I mean, again, his first touch let him down, just got away from him there, and I think the centre-half came across there, Fagan Walcott, and just didn't have to put him off. You can see there, just got a touch on the ball, and it drifted away from him.
Tottenham were getting a fair bit of joy down the left. The movement of Markande here, a lovely dribble from him, and then this was Janil Bennett in, and a header from Alfie Devine.
Yeah, the movement of Markande's caused problems all the first half to the 3 centre-backs of Chelsea, and there was a great run to the byline. Bennett eventually gets the ball across. Alfie Devine bending back was there, gets good contact on the ball. Great reaction save from the goalkeeper.
Tottenham having a good spell here. In fairness, they played pretty well throughout the first half, but here was the penalty incident. The pace of Dion Rankin was causing them a few wobbles, and then Harvey Vale taken out by keeper Oluwayemi.
Yeah, I think initially it was the shock of seeing Dion Rankin that far forward, and the defenders didn't track him, and probably Sessegnon at fault there a little bit, but the ball fell to Harvey Vale, who just got in front. Keeper comes out, rash challenge, dives for the ball, doesn't make contact, definite penalty.
And having won it, Vale tucked it away. Good power off that left peg. Oluwayemi went the right way. Not really seen anything of the Spurs keeper apart from giving away the pen and fishing the ball out of his net twice.
Yeah, I mean, again, penalty was deserved. I mean, he's hit the ball really well with his left foot. I'm not so sure the keeper doesn't get in advance of it there, and it goes over the middle of his body. So it was a bit of a strange one. If I see it again, I mean, the first time I thought he hit the corner, but it didn't. Actually, it's him on the thigh and goes in. So he'd be disappointed he didn't make contact with that.
Enough power in it. Occasion Chelsea have been the architects of their own issues. That was one such example. George McEachran and Sam McClellan there to get a great block in on Alfie Devine.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, when you're playing out from the back, you've got to be brave. George McEachran is trying to get on the ball, but Alfie Devine nicks it. But Sam McClellan does great because he doesn't sell himself early doors. They get that half a yard, but he gets his body in the way. Great challenge.
Former Blue Marcel Lavinier has been getting, well, very much forward from the back. It was Janelle Bennett cutting in, and Lucas Bergstrom had a handful of good saves.
Yeah, it was the run from Sessegnon that created the space for Bennett to come in on his right foot, trying to bend it to the far stick. Again, Bergstrom, good reaction save, gets down well to get it away from the goal.
There was a chance on the counter, none involved. Ben Elliott sliding it through to Vale, just perhaps too tight for a shooting chance. He picked out Charlie Webster, and then kept clipping it in there, but Charlie Webster will be the disappointed one.
Yeah, but I mean, Ben Elliott, good time ball, gets to Harvey Vale, comes back, and I think he's just licking his lips there. I just think he lacks concentration. He's looking at the second touch, not the first, and he gets the first one wrong.
But 2-0 it would be soon, and Harvey Vale didn't cut it back this time. He trusted his power and his pace, and a delicate little finish into the corner. And I think he might have meant that, you know.
Well, and that's what sheer pace can do for you. One-on-one with a goalkeeper, don't do a step over, don't do anything tricky, just use your pace to get that half a yard, which is exactly what he did. I mean, Lyons Foster here thinks he's got him one-on-one. He's trying to point him in a direction, but he just gets that half a yard, as I said, and he sneaks it into the corner. Doesn't blast it, just literally technique, nice and smooth, and places it in the corner. Great finish.
And that is why it is 2-0 to the Blues at the break. We will be back on PL2 duty actually the end of this week with Manchester United and more presently for the second half of this game. But let's just move on to first team duty here, because there is a certain Romelu Lukaku who has been wanting to talk to the Chelsea fans, and he has done just that, and you can hear it right now exclusively here on the Fifth Stand Up.
The person, you have to dream, and you know, but you have to set yourself targets as well. And yeah, the opportunity came along, I think, at the right time, because, you know, the club wants to keep winning, and you know, you gave me an opportunity. And I think for me, the way how my career has been going the last few years, I think it was the chance of a lifetime. So, you know, now it's time to put those words into practice on the pitch, and, you know, keep working, and, you know, hopefully winning as well.
Do you feel there's an element of almost unfinished business coming back?
Yeah, I have to be honest, a little bit. But, you know, at the end of the day, you know, my journey has been my journey. I think, you know, I learned a lot. I think the basics of my career, everything that I needed to learn, I learned here 10 years ago in the dressing room with a lot of personalities and, you know, players that won it all. And I was there to witness it firsthand in the training sessions, the way how they conduct themselves in the gym with the physios and stuff like that. So, you know, those basics, I took them for the rest of my career. And I think you see eventually, like, I put up big numbers, won the title with Inter last year. So it's all down to the basics that I've learned and, you know, the stuff that I learned along the way. And I think, you know, now at 28, you know, I'm a totally different player. I became a man now as well. I'm a father now as well. So life has changed. So, you know, now I just look forward to help the team and be available for the manager, you know, whenever he needs me.
Well, I'm sure he'll be needing him soon. And a lot has happened in the intervening years. Tommy went to Everton and West Brom on loan and scored a lot of goals there. Everton permanent, Man U. He's now a title winner. He scored 30 and 34 in all competitions in his 2 seasons in Italy. Romelu Lukaku is back.
Yes, he is, and it's great to see. Obviously, he's a Chelsea supporter as a boy, which is also lovely. As you said, I don't think he finished his business, as the question was asked there by Lee, and I think he's come back to win titles and take his career even further forward than it's got last year. So, as you say, Inter Milan, great to win the title there, but I think he wants to come back and win the Premiership and be a major part of our future. At 28, Ben, he knows the game now. There's no secrets. Physically, he's a proper man. You can see he's a beast in the Euros this year, backing into defenders. They can't get the ball off him. And he'd be a great foil for whoever plays up front with him. You look at Werner. I think Werner will benefit from his physicality and the way that it will take the pressure off of Timo. And the runs he made at the weekend, I saw. You know, I think he'll benefit from the big man being alongside him. But team selection for Mr. Tuchel is a problem. But what a lovely problem to have.
And you think last term the Blues' top Premier League goal scorer was Jorginho with 7. I don't think Mr. Lukaku will be putting up that kind of number. He has. It's almost quite sweet actually, because he hasn't scored yet in his 15 appearances he got first time around, and the majority of them off the bench. He hasn't yet opened his Chelsea account, so perhaps Arsenal on Sunday maybe.
Well, from your mouth to God's ears, please. But no, look, you know, as I said, his record in the last few years, his goal-scoring record, games to goals, has been fantastic. In what is that's not a Mickey Mouse league, by the way. Inter Milan playing a very competitive league, so he's playing against some very good defenders, as we saw the Italians win the Euros this year. So listen, I'm looking forward to seeing him in a Chelsea shirt. But you know, we won 3-0 at the weekend. So as I said, it's a tough decision, but I'm sure Mr. Tuchel will enjoy making it at the weekend.
Romelu wasn't available for it, the Palace game that Tommy is referring to. Let's have a look at the highlights from that before the second half of this game.
It's relentless from Chelsea at the moment, though.
Alonso. Oh, it's a lovely cross shaped in, and the header was guided rather than powered toward goal by Christian Pulisic. Good pressure from Chelsea.
He's good, but we've got to keep getting into the box and causing the problems. Yeah. A poor challenge, isn't it? The wall is slightly on an angle, and it makes it all so different. Need to practice this lots in training.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It is absolutely sensational from Marcos Alonso. What a way to get the season off and running. An Alonso special, and Chelsea ahead. Here's Mount. Back from Azpilicueta. Find one over for Werner, it's loose, and there's Christian Pulisic to make it 2-0 and get his customary goal against Crystal Palace. That's 5 in 5 now for the American, and just before half-time, Chelsea double their lead. Azpilicueta. Now left it for Jorginho. Alonso gets to that lovely spin on the ball from Jorginho. And Werner! Side netting, had to take it first time. It was instinctive and reactive, and it almost resulted in the third Chelsea goal. Well through the legs of Jorginho. Ayew, that's a good ball into space. Opportunity here for Zaha. Can he get the shot off? Well done, Tony Rudiger first time, and then Christensen helps him out second time round.
Well, I think if you're a Palace fan now, you're saying, just get your shot away. Maybe they're looking to sort of mix things up a bit.
Over urge to shoot, so he has! How about this? Trevor Chalobah on his Premier League debut. His first Chelsea goal. It's a beauty. It's a moment. It's wonderful.
Wasn't it just? Premier League debuts don't get much better than that. And we were talking about the potential of inspiration there, Tommy, Trev, for these youngsters. We've seen that pathway open up in the last couple of years under Frank, and indeed now with Trevor under Thomas Tuchel. There's a player he has not seen at all, who's at Lorient last season and has been, you know, with Huddersfield and with Ipswich, I think, on loan. He's played nearly 100 games at a level, but you know, it's proof there that Thomas Tuchel, okay, I don't know you, all right, you're training with us, actually you're quite good, I'll keep picking you. We shall see.
I understand also that people like Dujon Sterling have been impressing him with his physicality, with his pace and everything else, because Dujon had a few problems last year, and obviously we saw him in the PL2. And it's lovely to see that the managers wouldn't have known of these boys. As you say, they've been out on loan. And Trevor's come in and done a fantastic job. In Ireland last week, when we won the Super Cup, he was excellent. I mean, there was a ball played over the top, and it was a one-on-one, it was a level race, and then he just opened it, the old burners came on, and away he went. And I hadn't seen that pace, and I've watched him a lot, as you have over the years, and I didn't see that pace in him, but he was superb. And at the weekend, defensively very good. Let's be totally honest, he didn't have a lot to play against because Palace were poor, but he can do no more, and he was very impressive. And as I said earlier, when they shouted shoot, I was saying, oh, I'm not sure it's the right decision, but when it ended up in the back of the net, the reaction of the crowd, the reaction of him, as a boy who grew up at Chelsea as a 9-year-old kid, I just loved every minute of it. And his interview after, he was very, very calm, very collected, but you could see he was soaking it all up and enjoyed every minute.
Yeah, it was great to see, and I'm sure he had a good chat afterwards with his opposite number, Mark Gurhey. The two of them were regulars together through the youth team and didn't play a whole lot of PL2 because they actually were already getting loaned out, the two of them, but they were excellent at the back as under-18s and Youth Cup winners, those two. And speaking of PL2, we have more PL2 action for you this Friday evening on the 5th Stand Up. You'll be seeing plenty of live games this term from this division, and we can hope for similar entertainment and a similar margin of victory. That would be nice. Manchester United is Friday from 5 to 7. Hit Man U for 6 at one point last term, did Chelsea, in this division, just after they had beaten Spurs away to go top, in fact, before the Christmas break. Yes, Chelsea, first home game of the PL2 campaign. Man United this Friday night, live on the 5th Stand App. Got some PL2 debutants in waiting there, in Luke Bagley Morgan and Josh Brooking, and keeper Teddy Sharman Lowe. Jaden Wareham as well. But, the funny thing is here, Tommy, that Andy Mars will be absolutely thrilled to be winning, but I'm sure he'll have actually had plenty to say, you know what I mean, in a slightly negative way to his players during that half-time.
Yeah, I don't think anyone believes the scoreline reflects the actual first 45 minutes we've seen. I think Spurs were dominant. They've had opportunities. They've obviously had a goal which was offside, and Chelsea's penalty was a definite penalty. So I'm not arguing with any of the decisions. I just felt Spurs were a little bit unlucky with a few ricochets in the box, and a couple of good saves from Bergstrom have kept them out. But I think we've got to get a little bit tighter to the centre-halves in particular, who seem to be just drilling balls over our defenders into areas where Makande's making the good runs. Bennett on the left-hand side is coming in on his right foot, and the two full-backs, Sessegnon and obviously Marcel Lavinia, getting down and creating width for them. So I think their team shapes work better than ours today, but at the moment the scoreline doesn't reflect that.
So is that just a case of getting tighter to the people making the passes to those people, just technically from a tactical point of view, that what Chelsea should do to stop those threats if Markande's getting that good movement?
Well, I don't think the Spurs system has really been anything other than initially hitting long balls over the top to in behind Makambe and Bashir Humphreys. I think, obviously from that perspective, the strikers making good runs, and then Bennett and the likes of the other Mundell on the right are joining in and making issues of it. And I just think that we need to be more vigilant and try and stop the centre half pinging that ball over the top, making play square, and then just try and get tight. And maybe that's Fiobeamer a little bit. And then what I'd also say is Fiobeamer has to hold the ball up a little bit better than he did in that first half. I know we're 2-0 up, but we need to get out at times, and he wasn't holding the ball up well enough.
Still, albeit an old-fashioned, but a still hugely important part of the game. Something the first team missed, I think, last term when Olivier Giroud was not playing, and hopefully we will see it sticking to Big Rom. I don't know if he can be Big Rom. There can only be one Big Rom, can't there, at Chelsea? I'm not sure I feel comfortable calling one Big Rom and the other one Little Rom. Not that way round. I think the new centre-forward can be Little Rom. Certainly a little centre-forward for Tottenham, but he's been buzzing around dangerously. Dylan Markando, and he'll get this second half going.
What do you think individually, Ben? They've had three probably the best players on the pitch. The number 9, Markande's done well. Alfred Divine's been dangerous in midfield, and in White, the number 8, his set pieces have been fantastic. So, as I said, but they find themselves 2 down.
Vale's one off the match ball as Charlie Webster gets a good foot in. Here is Vale, and George Nunn making the run already down the left. The deep ball is on. Dion Rankin
too much.
Is not going to be able to get on the end of it.
It looks like Marcel Lavinier come onto this left-hand side, so I think Sessignon's gone off. It looks like that's Marcel Lavinier playing there. I didn't see the assistant putting up anything, unless Sessignon's moved forward as a left winger, perhaps. I don't know.
Low position, it's not always easy to tell. Forward by Lavinier, it's over Bennett. There's Markande moving it on. Now White. Markande again. Dion Rankin just wanted a bit more time than he had.
He's
there.
got caught
Crunching
there as well.
challenge by Lavinier.
I think the follow-through's caught him here, Ben.
Neil Bennett not impressed with the referee, and he won't be impressed with his language either. Apologies if you picked that up.
Yeah, I don't think Marcel Lavinier was pulling out of that challenge at all. See, look, he's a little bit lapsed here with his concentration, and wow, he takes every opportunity to clean the ball and the player out there.
They played together and against one another in training a lot, those two, Marcel Lavinier and Dion Rankin.
Well, he did pick him up, but that's the only gentlemanly thing he did.
Marquez Muir is on for Ryan Sessegnon, incidentally. Might have just been probably was just a plan to get him 45 minutes. You get a lot of scouts at these PL2 games, and there'll be, obviously, as Tommy was saying, still lots of time for loanees. I thought Ryan Sessegnon will be looking for some loan football. Well in Charlie Webster.
He's done well there, Charlie Webster. He actually lost the ball, and it was a dangerous situation, and got back, nicked it, now gives the ball away. And we've got to keep the ball better and keep Spurs off of us. I think this will help us as well, Ben, because Lavinier, we know from our own, when he played for us, he's predominantly right-footed. So that balance that Sessegnon gave them and going on the outside of Bennett on this side may not be as prevalent in this half.
Hooked on by Devine. McClelland. Lavinier going forward and getting on the end of it. This is adventurous stuff. It's a great pass as well for Markande, and it's 2-1. And at the heart of it was the former Blue, Marcel Lavinier. You have to say, upsetting as it is, that's a fantastic goal.
Well, it's a fantastic goal, and again, it hurts me to say much deserved. I mean, opening 2 minutes of the second half, you hope Chelsea will keep the ball, keep Spurs off of them. What we've done is allowed them back in the game. But Lavinier does really well here. It's a great little reverse ball from Devine, but that little ball there into the strikers got great pace on it, and he just takes a touch and finishes it past the oncoming goalkeeper. And it's what Spurs deserve, and it's not what Chelsea wanted the second half to start with.
He's had a really good game, Marcel Lavinier.
Well, I made the point he wouldn't give him width, but he didn't. He gave him a great little ball in the box from the middle of the box, and you know, at the end of the day, as I said, he had a bright side bright game on the right-hand side. Now he started well on the left.
Well, when you have as many players, old and young, on the books as Chelsea do over the years, the odd X factor is going to come and hurt you. There's been a few of them. So Lavinier, the architect of that goal, well finished by Markande, very much like Harvey Vale's finish, actually. Second goal in the first half. But he's been really bold and progressive, hasn't he? Lavinier, I mean, coming up in the first half and there in the second.
Yeah, I mean, in the first half he was coming on this right-hand side and pushing George Nunn back, and who's our left-sided wing-back, and doing a good job there, and getting in the box on a couple of occasions where Nunn defended well at the far post. On that occasion, so he broke into the middle of the pitch and played a great ball through to the striker, and he's had a good influence. But you know, when you play against your old mates and your old team, you're going to be up for it. And he's had a decent 50 minutes.
It was Chelsea who produced the comeback from 2 down last term in that thrilling 3-2 we were talking about between these clubs. We hope Spurs don't do the same tonight. The best ball either.
No, it's not. We've been very sloppy
there from Mbuyamba.
But so's that sloppy as well from Lavinier again. But that Without being too critical, I think we just got to keep the ball better, have 2 or 3 passes, because that's not on. Brian Fiabima had no chance of reaching that ball, and we're just giving the ball back to Spurs.
Second half, opening few minutes, every bit as lively as the first were, and well, you might get a bit of messiness and rustiness. First game of the new season and all that, but it's made for pretty entertaining stuff here. It's been a good 2-1 with plenty of other chances.
Yeah, you can do all the pre-season you like. These are lung bursting, these games, I mean, because obviously there's a lot of excitement in the first game of the season.
To Neil Bennett and Buyamba tracking him. Good rangy pace there with those long legs. White keeping it for Spurs is Devine. Here comes Lavinier again, and that's delicately done by Alfie Devine. Lavinier's cross. Away is the shout. Charlie Webster obliges. Bama battling away. That looked like a pull there, referee, surely.
Ooh, I think the sub got away with one there, Muir. I think he pulled back Fiabima. Fiabima was just stronger than him, and I just think he pulled him back at a vital time. Referee didn't give it.
I think he managed to do that kind of on the blind side of the ref, which is why we had a slightly better view of it than he did. That was a foul. But if it's one you get away with, you've done your job well, Ricardo Carvalho.
Absolutely, yeah. That wasn't a foul, what are you on about?
He did that 10 times a game. The best in the
best was the Barcelona goalkeeper when John Terry had the header, but again, superb.
Valdez still bitter about that one. You push that
well
line
played.
as much as you can. Flag up here. Yeah. For a foul, not for offside.
Yeah, he's done well, Bashir Humphries there. The fullback's getting forward there, and he just stood firm and got a free kick out of it. Just got to slow it down a little bit, Ben. It is Billy Whiz. It's the first game of the season. It's lung bursting and etc. etc. But I think we need to get back to basics and pass the ball better, and try and get forward as best we can.
Yes, it's definitely on the frantic side, and you don't need that, especially if you are getting that bit more tired because it's early days. And in Charlie Webster, Ben Elliott, George McEachran, and there you've got technicians who can keep hold of that ball really tidily. Here is George McEachran, unusually out there. Nicely done by Buyamba, and Ben Elliott was caught. They're smart enough to keep the ball well in there. Smart technically, I mean. If they're smart mentally enough to know to do that, then maybe Chelsea could exert a little more control.
And even
in that
then,
middle
four
third.
or five passes, where we find ourselves, you know, and you're keeping Spurs off of it, and you've got the ball. But and that's a great little dink in behind.
Webster tracked all the way by Lyons Foster. They're not pulling out their challenges tonight. It's another well-timed one. In fact, I think that's Fagan Walcott, but good chunky challenge.
Yeah, it was. Again, as you say, Lavinier earlier, and that side, Walcott comes across, and it's a well-timed challenge, but I think we've got a set piece out of it. Well, we got 2 players with wands of left foot, and they're both getting on the ball now. George McEachran's one of them, and Harvey Val.
They might want Vale in there for his size, but it's a deep delivery from him here. And Buyamba should collect this. He's going to let it run out for another one, which he has. Slightly surprised with his size that Vale wasn't in there, and I'll let McEachran take it.
Yeah.
Hey-ho.
And again, yeah. But it wasn't the worst ball in. Another set piece from the right this time. Charlie Webster, chance to get a quality ball in the box.
Cleland is tall, so's Mbuyamba. It won't reach either of them. It's a rare touch, actually, for Oluwayemi. Really hasn't touched the ball much with foot or glove tonight, the Tottenham keeper.
No, best one out of a punch.
It was, wasn't it?
I wouldn't fancy him hitting me on the chin. It went way outside the box.
Constantly amazed by the distances they can get on them. You would think punching a moving ball would be quite difficult.
Absolutely, and also it's a standing start because we had 2 players in front of him, so as I said, it made the punch even better. But it's nice to see the ball now. Obviously, you know, we've conceded that goal, and all of a sudden now we're getting the ball in their half and making them play out, which is what we need to be doing.
Humphries back to McClelland. Now Mbuyamba, that's the back 3 for Chelsea tonight. Rankin is the right wing back, and George Nunn as the left, and there he is.
No,
It's nicely done.
Go on, Bashir. Great
Early ball was on,
Great ball.
well spotted. Now here's Dion
One-on-one.
Rankin. Plenty of blue in the middle.
No.
Couldn't find any of it.
No, and I think he has to return the compliment to Lavigne there. I think he has to go one-on-one and test him and get a rash challenge from him, but he doesn't. He takes the easy route there, and Lavigne gets back and deflects it to the keeper. But it's better in the last sort of 2 or 3 minutes from Chelsea.
And they're hustling Tottenham into the odd mistake here. Still more than half an hour to go. Good to have at least them being penned back a little bit after the first half, where you saw Tottenham very much on the front foot. Third season for Andy Myers. More than 100 appearances, Tommy. Winners' medals in the Cup and in the Cup Winners' Cup as well. Good to have that kind of inspiration.
I'm a great fan. I really like Andy. He's a top boy, and obviously John Harley as well alongside him. A real good lad, and you know, I think they manage this team very, very well. They don't know their team week in, week out. You talked earlier about youth team players coming through and other people going on loan. So it's, you know, every week you're not sure who you're going to get, and it must be difficult. But I think they've both done outstanding jobs.
For a minute, two of them were going to go for the same ball there. Prod from McClellan. There's Lavigne.
Yeah, it bounces, gives us a problem again. It's the forward challenging there, but and it looks like the referee's going to stop play. Might be a challenge yesterday on the halfway line. It's Bennett just gone down. As it bounces here, I think it's George McEachran doesn't jump, and I think he just catches his shoulder exactly, and it'll be a sore one, but it'll be okay.
Never know with these innocuous ones.
Well,
Hakim Ziyech in the Super Cup, you're thinking, how on earth has he managed?
Well, it actually resembled that, didn't it? In many ways, in that he didn't actually jump, but he obviously got a very sore one. And
test of pace here.
yeah,
And
but
Lavigne wins the day.
that's all right. Yeah, I don't mind that, but we're forcing them back into areas they don't actually want to be. It's a good ball played over the top. Dion Rankin again showing great athleticism on this right-hand side, but you're right, Lavigne got the better of it. I don't think the goalkeeper was very impressed with the back pass from Muir there, because ended up nearly on the goal line. Oh, there's another challenge here. Oh, it's George McEachran, and he's already been booked.
And he's going to have to be very, very careful,
and
and he's going to hope for a bit of help from the referee
I think the referee's going to have it's one of them last words. You do that again, and I'm going to have to book you, because it was a rash challenge. And I think it's the right winger Mundell that comes in there and gets caught. You can see just making ground there, and McEachran just sticks out a leg. It's a rash challenge, and Mundell goes down. And I think the referee hopefully will just have a quiet word, and which he's doing.
He is. He's not going to send him off, but behave yourself. There's half an hour left. Well, he's the most experienced young man out there, and you would like to think he can behave himself. If Andy Myers thinks it's a risk worth taking, I don't know. We'll see. Free kick Spurs, though. Still plenty of time to go in this game. Solid block, George Nunn. It's a very young untried Chelsea bench, in fairness. So I'm sure Andy will want George to just be as wise as he can.
Yeah, you'd hope now he's had that final warning that he'll just stay on his feet now and let someone else make the challenges. It just shows you how many times in a game does George McCracken have to dive in. I think that's the dominance of Spurs in their midfield areas have created that.
Charlie Webster's done well, although in fairness, Lyons Foster has then won it back off him, and that's a dangerous ball.
Well done,
out.
Lucas Bergstrom. What a ball that is as well by Lyons Foster, Ben. I mean, it's a weldy, and the forward just licking his lips there, going to finish it, and goalkeeper does really, really well.
I mean, we've seen a lot of scrappy stuff tonight. We've also seen some real quality balls into boxes and passing manoeuvres and finishing. There's been some real quality on show.
This is world class. I mean, that is world class. And I've got the striker, that's Bennett coming in, and again, Bergstrom, lovely alert goalkeeping, and does what he can to get out of that danger area. Spurs are going mad here, by the way. Ben Elliott, there's contact in their half there, and I'm not so sure it was a free kick, but the Spurs, they're really having a dig at the assistant on this side.
Lucas Bergstrom ended last season with a bit of a double nightmare with the final seconds of the Youth Cup tie. He let one straight through him against Everton, and Chelsea just like that were knocked out, and he was just heartbroken. You felt for him. He followed that up with a red against Man United almost immediately.
Got a chance. Charlie. Oh, great defending.
Webster arriving, and a big block coming in there.
Again, Marcel Lavinier, he's having a decent game. He makes a last-ditch challenge. As Charlie Webster's going to give it a smash there.
Janelle Bennett now releasing, and they've got plenty coming forward. Look how many white shirts are attacking the box here, but that's close enough to Bergstrom to not be a problem.
But again, great pace. Have a look at this. I mean, it's a great little dink back, and Lavinier comes in there and makes a great challenge as Webster's going to have a touch and maybe finish it first time.
We've got a buyback clause on Marcel. He's having the game of his life here, I've got to say. I don't remember seeing him play anything like this well. Fair play to him. He's a regular in the youth team. Youth Cup side too.
He always had blistering pace though, didn't he? And I just think he lost his way in that Chelsea shirt, and maybe needed this to get back on track. None on the ball. Finish.
Charlie Webster didn't get hold of it. It's on target, but he'd have preferred it on the right boot, which would have been his right boot.
Yeah, it's nice to see George Lund getting forward, because he's been pinned back in the first half, and the opening sort of 18 minutes of the second half. As you said, it's a little bit of a scuffer, but sometimes they get a deflection going, so at least he hit the target.
Charlie's going to have to add some goals to his game if he is going to play in a slightly more advanced role this term. Quite often been previously in youth team seasons a sort of deeper lying probing midfielder who hit beautiful passes left and right, and yes, scores nice free kicks and things like that, but not your obvious sort of Frank Lampard break into the box and score goals as an attacking midfielder type. And we've seen a couple of them fall to him in really promising Lampardy positions, if you like, tonight already.
What a ball that is again. I think it's the boy White again. His left foot is really, really good.
Janelle Bennett taking on Theon Rankin.
Great save again.
Another sharp stop, this time with his boot, I think. Lucas Bergstrom, Dylan Markande in there then.
Again, it's great play on the left-hand side by Spurs, and Bennett gets to the byline. Markande comes to the near post. Again, he's busy, and it's a great touch, and McClellan can do nothing about it, and Bergstrom sticks out a leg and gets it clear. Great forward play, but great goalkeeping as well.
He's had a super hour, Lucas Bergstrom, and in fairness, he's had to have, because Tottenham have been a real threat. It's easy to say when they're losing. Yes, they are. Still,
saying it in 90 minutes. But there's great pace, great tempo to the game, and some quality balls been hit in the box. And you know, unfortunately, Spurs have played most of them.
Megan Walcott, Lavinier. Terrible ball. That's more like it.
Yeah, and brief.
Mind them keeping it here, but they're attack-minded. They're going for the jugular as Vale finds none. He's still going here, Vale.
Oh, George got a problem now because George has been out of the game, and Harvey Vale, he's played Harvey Vale out of it as well.
They've gone long quickly. It's going to be an awkward bouncing ball.
It's a foul all day long.
And Mbuyamba jumping. It was always going to be difficult. That, as usual, I know it's an old one, but as soon as it bounces,
Can't let it bounce as a defender. I mean, both centre-halves, McClelland, he gets the wrong side, and you can see the ball bounces up. Bennett's brave, to be fair. I mean, he's not a striker, he's actually a winger, but he jumps up there, and Mbuyamba, makes contact, and the referee, he hasn't given a free kick. Maybe because Bennett went down and he thought it was a head injury, maybe that's why he stopped the game.
Well, he did seem to hold his head.
I think we got away with one there, didn't we?
Quite a few bits going the way of the Blues tonight. I don't mind that. Saw them be rather unfortunate on a few occasions last term. But they'll do well to see this out. Let's hope so. Been the odd moment on the counter too.
That's better. Fearbeamer's superb, and look what he set up here. Run from George McEachran.
The central midfielder will make that burst if he trusts that the centre forward would do it. He hopes he will. McEachran went. Actually didn't use the ball very well, sadly. But
no, and that is poor because that is George's game, playing them little dinky balls into people and playing little 1-2s around, and he's give the ball away, and again Spurs are back on us.
Devine and now Bennett with time. He's tried that manoeuvre. And this time he's been successful with it. Bergstrom kept him out with exactly that effort in the first half, but that's a fabulous finish, and it's a fabulous game of football, and Tottenham, much as it pains me to say it, probably deserve parity at least. It's 2-2.
Yeah, let's be totally honest. I mean, we all look through rose-coloured glasses, but Spurs have been by far the better side in this opening, 65 minutes. And George McEachran give the ball away. We said it's totally unfamiliar of him to give it away in them situations. Spurs break on us, and the ball comes out to Bennett, who's been very impressive, the young man, cutting in on his right foot. He's tried a couple of times to bend it in the far stick. The keeper's made good saves on that occasion. Bergstrom can't get anywhere near it, and as you say, 2-2 probably is the right result at this moment. And
Hands
substitution for Chelsea.
A few hands on hips as well there. It's like Dion Ranking departing, and Josh Brooking running this way. Yes, it is. Nice moment for him. A debut at this level. Josh Brooking, a regular part of the youth team defence with the likes of Bashir Humphreys and Charlie Wiggett over the last couple of years, players like that. But replacing one of the more experienced players at this level in Dion Rankin. It's all relative, of course, when you're talking about youngsters, but Dion Rankin behind George McEachran, probably about the most experienced player out there, actually, in the Chelsea shirt.
Well, he's had a tough afternoon's work because he's got forward, but in this second half, Lavinia's given him a couple of firm challenges, and I'm sure he's maybe feeling the effects of that, but got a chance for, and he's again Lavinia's diving in, and that's a silly challenge because he's giving away a free kick there, but a bit overzealous, but chance for Brooking to show his talents on this right-hand side.
Here he is. Saw him play a bit of right wing back in the youth team last term. He didn't make that ball stick there though, and he better get back in a hurry. Right back in a 4, occasionally a bit more central. He's tough assignment in Janelle Bennett tonight, and indeed Alfie Devine, who's supporting him here.
Oh, what a ball that is from Devine.
Delicate weight on it. Actually, pretty well defended that by Mbuyamba, who must have wanted to lunge him, and now he can't because Markande's given him the spin. Oh, goodness me, Brooking should clear now.
I was so afraid Mbuyamba was going to try and make a challenge there, Ben. I really thought he was going to stick out one of his long limbs there, and the young man Markande was looking to go down. A great bit of play again from the striker, and the movement was good. And again, we get ourselves out of trouble. It's a great little run here. He just wriggles his way out of it. There, I just thought, don't stick out a leg and make a challenge. George McEachran does really well, does enough, makes contact with his body, and as I said, we got a chance to clear it. But they're bang on us again.
Suddenly it's 4-on-4, the angle's tight, and Lucas Bergstrom is big enough to take up enough of that goal space, and he's got himself in the way. 20 minutes to go, and Chelsea are not quite clinging on, but it's approaching that.
Well, I mean, I have to say, Spurs are running right in that final third, and it's a great strike. Keeper should save it. Eventually makes a comfortable save, but again, it's another shot on target. That's a foul.
And he's given it. Brian Feerbema doing his job there for his team.
Absolutely did really, really well.
Again, McEachran quickly going for the jugular with a killer ball. Actually, he's made Oluyemi come out and do something. At least Chelsea can get up the field here a bit. Throw coming in quickly, it's wasteful.
It's frustrating, isn't it? You know, you get the ball in the final third, and Harvey Val throws it into a Spurs player.
Bennett. It's that manoeuvre again, deflected this time, and it's simple enough. But you know what he's going to do. It doesn't necessarily make it any easier to deal with. A certain Mr. E. Hazard of this parish once pretty good at doing that little manoeuvre.
Yeah, I
cut
mean,
along the 18-yard line and bend one in the bottom corner. Just because you knew it was coming, didn't stop him going in.
You couldn't stop it, exactly. You knew where he was going, but it didn't matter anyway. But again, Bennett very, very good. As you said, cut across the box there, looking to. I think Miyamba came across and got a deflection on it, and Bergstrom made it an easy save. But he's been very effective on this left-hand side, the young man.
Oh, Kanté there with that little scurrying run, that low centre of gravity to keep his balance. I'm not suggesting he's in this class, but he looked just like an Aguero or Romario. You know what I mean? That tiny little 5'5", who just, even when you bump him, as Mbuyamba half did, he'll still keep on scurrying. As Josh Brooking backs himself and does rather well actually.
Done, brilliant.
Now, what
Help
next? Feerbema in the middle, and coming with him is George McEachran. Well played, Brooking.
Oh, it's a foul.
Well played, George McEachran. Lavinier clipped him. Chelsea free kick in a dangerous area.
Well, welcome to the game, Mr. Brooking, and that was a superb run, full of confidence. He eventually picks out George McEachran, who just skips past the first defender, and Lavinier comes across, and it's a definite free kick. And as you said, a chance to test the keeper,
who really has been starved of the ball. He's had nothing to do, and that's a skill in itself. We used to talk to Petr Cech in the glory days about that a lot, about how, you know, Pete, you don't have anything to do for 70 minutes, but you've got to be there. You've got to make
that vital save, absolutely. Concentration's key.
When you're talking about teenagers, that's a different prospect, and he might just have a rush of blood. I better come out and do something. Let's see. We know he's got the quality. Let's see him deliver it here, George McEachran.
Oh, what a ball.
Oh, it's a brilliant ball. It skimmed off a Tottenham head, I believe, on the way through. Did it not?
Well, how's that?
Well, it's a goal kick, apparently. I thought that skimmed a Spurs head.
Well, the initial contact was definitely a Spurs head, but does Sam McClellan get a touch here? No, that's a Spurs head. It looks like a corner.
It should be a corner. Refs just missed that one.
Unless Sam does get the faintest of touches, but I, like you, thought it was a corner. Great set piece from George McEachran.
Well, it's there for the winning. Funnily enough, we've seen a lot of Desmond 2-2s in the PL2 over the last couple of years, including with Spurs, actually, and seemingly every time. Play Man City as well. I'm sure that one finishes 2-2 every time. No. It was 2-2 last term from 2 down, and Chelsea won it. We hope it's not a reverse here. George McEachran is going off here, and it is a debut at this level for Luke Badley-Morgan there. Big night for him.
It's a big night for him, Ben. It's a big time to come into the game at 2-2 with Spurs dominating it. So, again, it's a big test.
'17-year-old. Super regular for the youth team last term. Played a bit, but not start every week by any stretch. So, just emphasising it, and I'm not making excuses, even if it sounds like I am, but this is a young... Is out of play, just. This is a young team, even for Chelsea at PL2 level, as Bashir Humphreys and makes friends with Harvey White. Why not? It's Tottenham-Chelsea. We can have a little bit of that as the ref has a chat.
To be fair, Harvey White showed great skill, but the assistant give it as going off, and then all of a sudden he got the ump because the referee the assistant give the decision, and He's had a little go here at Bashir. I have to say, Bashir was innocent in that.
With players having left on permanent deals as well as the usual raft of loanees, it does make this a really young PL2 side. I mean, obviously, Chelsea have always used it as almost like a youth team plus, but if you look at the average ages and the amount of 17 and 16-year-olds who are involved in the squad this term, you will see far more of that than you have in recent ones.
Ben Elliott's touch there's killed us. Absolutely.
And here's Bennett again.
Oh, well
looking
done,
for that
Sam
corner
McClelland.
again.
What a challenge this is, Ben. I mean,
said he was an old school defender, Tommy. He'll chuck his head in the way of everything.
Well, this is John Terry-esque. I mean, I have to say, it's a great chance again to Bennett to pick it out with bending it into that far corner. And McClelland comes across, he catches one in the stomach. It'd be a bit of a painful one, but a great challenge.
And hopefully he's fine.
Well, hopefully just taking a deep breath.
And that wouldn't be the worst thing for the game, actually.
No, it's...
Chelsea's perspective, I mean, certainly not Spurs.
Just killed again, but no, it's great old-fashioned defending there, slinging his body in the way, being brave and getting his rewards and helping his fellow defenders.
Clear the head and go again, Sam. Away is the shout as Markande twists, and Romario wouldn't have been proud of that.
Well, that is a very difficult skill he tried there, and that's 9 times out of 10 that's where it ends up, because you've got to have balance and poise and technique, and he didn't have any of them.
Dangerous
Well
Bennett
done.
again.
Better.
It's been a tough night this for Mbuyamba. You don't mind that. In some ways, obviously you always want to see them playing brilliantly, but it's good to have real handfuls on you, and he has had a few players in his vicinity that have really needed some dealing with. He hasn't always been able to do it, sometimes he has. That's what you want.
I learned a little bit about himself tonight. I think this has been a real good test. I think the movement of the strikers created problems for him, and obviously Bennett on this left-hand side also. So yeah, you learn a little bit more in these games than a 5-0 victory. Although I'd like to see us beat Spurs 5-0. It'd be nice.
They'll beat Bennett to that. Now what's he going to do with it? McClelland into Brooking.
Lovely.
They will always trust themselves, young players playing out from the back. I still get the flutters every single time. I don't think that's ever going to change. Was that a shot at...
It'll go down as a shot, but it wasn't, obviously. I love the way these young men, as you said, Ben, it frightens the life out of me, I have to tell you that. But the way they back themselves and the confidence they have, and encouraged by the coaching staff, which is brilliant.
What a ball that. Bashir Humphrey spotted it immediately.
Go on.
Played it to Brooking. Josh Brooking still going.
Just ran out of ideas at the end, didn't he? I loved the initial one, which was go at Lavinia and create a problem, and then he just lost his footing. That's a great challenge, by the way.
You see, I think there that Ben Elliott has guessed the right way and made a good tackle.
Well, I agree with you, and then I think it's the Craig, I think, runs into him, and it's not a free kick, but referee sees it differently.
Not had a bad game tonight, the ref, to
no,
be
he
fair.
hasn't.
And they're also learning at this level. They aren't the finished article. That's why they are reffing the PL2. But quite often beat assistants at higher levels in the men's pro game.
No, totally agree. I think Benny's had a real good half, and this half, and I think the first half he made good decisions. I think the penalty was a penalty, and I think he's got everything right. So again, Fear Beamer goes off.
Change up top, and it is yet another debut. Just to emphasise this, that's all 3 that have come off the bench tonight for Chelsea, have not played in the PL2 ever before. Jayden Wareham is on. We were talking about him earlier. A successful trial spell from Woking last term, where he looked really good up top. Hard-working number 9 for the under-18s. He's got some goals too. Well, on for his PL2 bow here.
Well, he's got 11 minutes to work hard tonight, and as I said, we have to keep hold of that ball. So if he could do that for us, that would be a job well done.
He arrived in March, and his debut. See him in action here as a number 9. He made made a couple of goals for Jimmy Torianen in the youth team on his debut, I remember. Beat Southampton. Card is coming here for that challenge.
Fairly innocuous
Alfie
yellow
Devine.
card. Yeah, I mean, he definitely catches Wareham here, but not so sure that's a yellow card.
Ten minutes plus whatever to go.
Got to be offside, surely.
Surely. Oh, it's just one of those slightly late flags. Charlie Webster went early.
I think he was so far in advance the system didn't see him. Where's he come from?
I was looking at Wareham in the middle. Webster had gone 15 yards previous. There's a chunky one coming in. It's been a few of them tonight. And
it's been feisty, hasn't it? I've really enjoyed it, thoroughly enjoyed it. It's been a real quality game, and as you say, a few crunching challenges which adds to it.
But none of them have been nasty. They've all been on the firm side. And the ref hasn't blown for any of them, because they think about the potential for danger or reckless intent with your reds and yellows and all of that. We saw one, didn't we, the weekend in the Palace game? Was it Tony Rudiger came across and put an absolute wallop in? Oh no, it was the Super Cup, sorry, it wasn't the weekend in Belfast.
Well, he actually got booked for it, and I think that both benches went mad. Obviously, Villarreal's because they thought it was overzealous, and ours because we thought it was fair. So, no, Tony has a habit of doing that, doesn't he? And sticks his leg in. Oh, get there, get there, get there!
Oh, Bergstrom, penalty. And he's had such a good game, he may yet be able to atone for it. But Spurs have a spot kick with 8 minutes of the 90 left. And it looked like one, Tommy, didn't it? I don't think he's got this one wrong, the ref either. Badley Morgan's touch.
Exactly, Badley Morgan, he tries to have a touch there, and it's, you know, I'm not so sure it's a pen, but...
it's the one you always get given nowadays. There's no way Lucas Bergstrom has tried to take him out, but
and it was similar to the one that we got, obviously, in a similar situation. So, and White has been fantastic with his set pieces so far today, so big chance for Spurs to take the lead.
Come on, Lucas Bergstrom. Big chance for him too. And he saved it!
Jump.
Now jump and clear. White is still there. The ball is still there and it's gone, and it stays 2-2. Well done him.
Well, of all the quality White has shown during this game from set pieces, I mean, he hits it with great power, but it's a great height for the goalkeeper, who guesses the right way, makes a fantastic save, and gets Chelsea out of a little bit of trouble.
Oh, are you sure? Well, he's given it. Harvey Vale was nearly away then. People do funny things from the penalty spot, Tom. You make the point there. I mean, he's looked such a clever, crafty midfield player who you'd think could stick it on a postage stamp if you want him to. And he's gone for a sort of controlled thump there.
Yeah.
And it's up pretty central, really. That's nowhere near a corner.
No, listen, let's give the goalkeeper credit. He's hit it with great power, or decent power, I will say, but it's a great height for him. And if you guess the right way, you're always going to get a limb on that. And you look at the size of our goalkeeper there, he's a big boy. So it was a great save, great reaction save, and it's kept his team back still in this game. And as I said, he's had a very, very good night.
Really pleased for him, because he was not a happy bunny at the back end of last term. Things were really going against him. The year before, injury nightmare kept him out of contention for a lot of it, Lucas Bergstrom. He has made 4 or 5 really good stops tonight. None more important than that. Not just ones where the ball's been hit at him, funnily enough, like that penalty was, but some really good saves.
Harvey Vale's done fantastic there. Talked about holding on to the ball and giving your team a chance to breathe, and he's done that there, but it's obviously gone backwards eventually. But again, he's done real well, and he's won the flick on there.
And the young debutant, Luke Badley Morgan, will be absolutely thrilled.
Yeah, he will.
Oh, my goodness, he'll have been feeling terrible.
Again, it's one of them miscontrols. You lose a little bit of concentration. You may be looking at what's around you, what you're going to do with the second ball, and he loses it. It falls to the striker who falls over, and as you said, it'd be breathing a lot easier now. You talk about goalkeepers and confidence. I mean, last week we saw that in abundance. Kepa comes on as you know, as sub goalkeeper with 30 seconds to go, and saves the penalty that wins us the Super Cup. So you know, that's a great ball from Charlie Webster.
Big switch. George Nunn. Vale. Nunn again. Thought about it first time.
Should have done. Should have done. And Kanté is the striker who's been everywhere today. I don't know what he's doing as a right back because he shouldn't be there. But again, Nunn has to get that ball in the box with his first touch.
Just a chat to Vale here. The referee, who's done his best to not bring the card out tonight. Maybe one questionable one, but a few times we were a little bit more concerned. But that one, just a chat. Mark Kanté, I've seen him play a fair few times. He's always playing against Chelsea, and there was he even featured in their UEFA Youth League run when they were last in it. He looks an handful.
Yeah, his movement's good.
There are scouts here tonight, as we were talking about earlier. Tommy, you'd be thinking about having a look at him, wouldn't you?
Well, there'd be, as you said, let's put it this way, Stevenage will be there. So, no, he does look a handful, and for any defender, big or small, I mean, his movement's very good.
Tucked away his best chance very nicely. It's been an absolute pest from literally the first minute. 86 minutes, that's a bump on Charlie Webster.
Ben Elliott smashed one over the top.
It's from Iago Alonso, incidentally, that foul, who's just come on the Spaniard for Spurs. Here is Josh Brooking.
Oh, he's in.
And can he get to the byline? Keeper got there first.
Done well. Just run out of legs at the final moment there, Mr. Brooking, and the goalkeeper comes out, and it absolutely makes a good decision there.
Here's Bennett.
Don't foul him.
With pace. Mbuyamba couldn't touch him. He knew he couldn't. And Ben Elliott there, another who's been cautioned, had to get that challenge right, and he did. This would be really good for the boys if they hold on, even for the point here. I know you don't want to lose a 2-0 lead ever, but it wasn't a 2-0 game, and it's a young team. If they hold on to this, I'm sure that Andy Mars will be really pleased with them from that perspective.
Well, pleased and proud. You made the point about the youthfulness of the team and the inexperience we got out there now, and you know, if they can weather this storm, it'll be a great achievement.
McClelland and Mbuyamba back there, important. It's a Tottenham head, oddly enough, I think was Mark Kanté. But then Bennett's picked it up over there. Craig. Here is Iago Alonso. It was Romain Mundle who went off incidentally for Tottenham. That latest change of theirs. Any winner tonight across the 5 games happening in the PL2 had the chance to be top of the table, because yesterday's 2 games were draws. Man U and Leicester had a 2 each. At the moment, with 2 minutes to go, that's the way it is for Tottenham and Chelsea. But you feel the way the game has been pretty much from kick-off that with 2 minutes in stoppage time, there's probably still enough time for a couple more chances in this match. It's been that kind of
especially
game.
This little man on the ball, because he has been a live wire.
Mark Kanté's managed to clip the cross in. Bennett, and well done, Ben Elliott.
Got to win the second ball. Spurs just a little bit brighter to that second ball there.
Rafinha looking for somewhere to go. That had to be backwards.
Well, there was no width for him. Normally Bennett's been out here. It's a great little dinking behind. Well done, well defended.
Can't quite clear the lines at the moment. And that's dangerous, and it's Marcel Lavigne.
What a challenge. What a
Mbuyamba got a piece of that.
Mbuyamba has talked about long limbs. As he's just about to pull the trigger here, Marcel Lavigne, and get the goal against his old team, and he just stuck out a leg there and just flicked it away from him. Fantastic defending.
That would have been
impeccable timing, Ben.
Kick in the teeth, incidentally. That first-time ball from Harvey White, that was glorious. That little dink round the corner to find him. He wasn't even looking. It's been some really good performances in blue and in white out there tonight. Scouts looking at low knees. Kanté again. Drop of the shoulder, and Mbuyamba with another clearance. Chelsea are just holding on, just.
God, that's a poor touch there by Craig, which has given us a chance, but he's won it back.
Be brave enough to get up the field, I think, here, Tommy. A little bit. Oh, that'll do. Right. Brooking.
Oh,
looking for Wareham.
Werner's made a great little run, and I think if the ball's better, he gets it, but it just catches Lavinia in the leg as it's getting through to him, and Lavinia gets back and gets a free kick. He'd made a great run there, the striker, in between the two defenders.
Stoppage time. Jaden Wareham would love a chance on his PL2 bow. Tottenham made their third change there. That's Rafferty Pedo's come on. Fagan Walcott finding Marcel Lavinia. He just had enough time there, Tommy, to think, this is my moment. And stick two fingers up at Chelsea, probably. He's had a fantastic game. Imagine nicking a 90th minute winner.
Well, did you know the one thing that helps us was the ball actually sat up, and it was one of them that didn't come down quick enough for him, and Mbiyamba gets back, and as I said, he's 6'4", and one of his long limbs got in the way, which was good fortune. Whoa.
Looks like Kanté has replaced Kanté. One and a half minutes into stoppage time as Bennett looks for a little 1-2, but Lavinia's picked it up. That's an important touch in there. And again, well done.
Brilliant set.
Jaden Wareham's made this possible with the hold-up play.
Yeah, he held the ball up, set it back, and they tried a 40-yard ball, which probably wasn't the right decision, but we've got the ricochet in the second ball now, and try and keep possession. I mean, for the first game of the season, this has been played at a mental tempo, and it really has, and there'll be some aches and pains in the morning, but you know, lots of energy, and it's been some quality as well. It's been a fantastically entertaining game to watch.
It's pretty rare that you'd be 2 goals up and say, well, you take a point, but in a funny way, I feel like you would in this game. You're not so disappointed with it, just taking a point. If you normally lose a 2-goal lead, you would be, but...
No, I mean, look, I think Andy Myers is a realist. He looked at the team he's now got out there, and there are a bunch of kids running around, and it's a deserved point. They've worked hard, but Spurs were the better side over the period of time.
And they look the more frustrated as the full-time whistle goes. It is a point on opening night for Chelsea and Tottenham. The Blues were 2 up in the first half through Harvey Vale, which you wouldn't necessarily have expected in terms of the way the game was going. Spurs back in it with a couple of goals from Kanté and from Bennett, and they could have won it, arguably should have won it from the penalty spot, but Lucas Bergström had a fantastic match and made a fantastic stop from the powerful spot kick, and so it is a point each on opening night. Tottenham 2, Chelsea 2. That was a cracker. Let's just have a little run through, shall we, of the main moments then on very entertaining night's football in Stevenage. Alfie Devine had the first chance of the game. Tottenham's number 10 just breaking into the box here and seeing a header saved well by Lucas Bergström at the start of what was a good night for him.
Yeah, it was, and the three forwards have been lively all night. Started it off. Kanté initially plays it out to Bennett. Bennett dinks into the box, and Alfie Devine gets good contact. Well, a great reaction, say, from the goalkeeper there.
Speaking of contact, there was definitely some here from Maluayemi on Harvey Vale. Dion Rankin made the burst, and Harvey Vale taken out by the Tottenham keeper in a much quieter match than Lucas Bergström before him, but no doubt about that, despite the Tottenham protests, it absolutely was a foul, it absolutely was a penalty.
Yeah, it was a stone wall. I mean, Rankin gets a little bit lucky with a deflection, but Harvey Val's brighter than them, and then the keeper, he comes, gets in front of him, and the keeper makes contact. Definite pen.
Vale slightly central, not too dissimilar to the penalty we would actually see later. The difference being that Oluwayemi, excuse me, only got a little piece of this.
Yeah, and he seemed to dive under it. I mean, obviously he's going for the corner there, and Harvey Val sort of miss it. But this is the second goal. I mean, this is great forward play. This is just sheer pace. And again, it's a guided shot into the corner. He could have blasted that. Keeper would have come out and probably saved it, but he placed it. Didn't try and hit it too hard. But when you've got pace like this is all you have to do. Get that half a yard and just ping it into the corner. Fantastic finish.
Well, former Blue Marcel Lavinier couldn't catch him there, and he had a great game against his old club here. And he helped make the Dylan Markande goal that made it 2-1 there. It's a very good goal, and the least Tottenham deserve, really.
He played on this left-hand side, but was always going to come in on his right foot, and he plays a lovely little ball in, but great pace on the ball. Good first touch from Markande, who deserved his goal. He was a live wire all night and a threat.
Charlie Webster here would love that to have been on his right boot. He was playing in a slightly further forward role tonight. Charlie Webster, found by George Nunn on that occasion.
Yeah, good ball in from George Nunn, but it's come across his body. The contact isn't the best, and keeper makes an easy save.
The contact here was excellent. You feared the worst with Bennett bearing down, because he was trying this all night. That one worked, Tom.
Yeah, it did. I mean, as you said, he'd been threatening it all night. Bergstrom had made 1 or 2 great saves in the first half, similar to that. But this time he comes in. Mumbiano should really show him down the line, but he doesn't. He shows him onto his stronger right foot, and he bends it into the far corner. No chance for the keeper.
So that was 2-2. This may well have been 3-2. Lucas Bergstrom conceding the penalty. It was actually a bit of a soft touch from Luke Badley-Morgan that made it happen.
Yeah, Badley-Morgan hadn't been on the pitch that much. I really touched the ball, but his concentration went a little bit there. Goalkeeper come out, thinks he can get it. Striker, nice and alert, gets there before him, and it's a chance for Spurs to take the lead.
Harvey White smashed it, but he smashed it too close.
And we saw all night the quality he has on the ball and from set pieces. So I think both of us were amazed that whilst he hit the target, he didn't put it in the back of the net. Good goalkeeping from Bergstrom, and he got his rewards for a fantastic night's work. Deserved that.
Top game, Chelsea's keeper. He wasn't needed here, but only by the skin of his teeth. Mbuyamba nicking in there to stop Marcel Lavinier winning it for Spurs.
Yeah, again, it would have been bittersweet for us, and great for him, because he comes through there, makes a great run. Lavinier was lively all night, and Mbuyamba gets back and makes great contact and gets it away from the danger. A fantastic night and fantastic game to watch.
It really was good entertainment. Hope you enjoyed it here on the Fifth Stand Up. There will be more, and soon, Friday night. Andy Myers and the boys will be at home to Manchester United. Make sure you join us live from 5 to 7 for that one. Well, that really was an excellent start to the Chelsea week, and you've heard from Romelu Lukaku too on the Fifth Stand App. You can see that if you missed it. It was on at half-time, but that'll still be available for you. And as I say, more PL2 football with Man United. But I hope you've enjoyed tonight. Tommy Langley and I certainly have. Good night.